Welcome back to this commentated roleplay for Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition using the SCS mod. So before we resume the tutorial, I thought it may be interesting just to look over our new acquaintance. This is the elf enchanter, Zan, who, as we see, is lawful neutral. So a little bit different to our character, who is a lawful evil. So we can see his statistics here. He is significantly more intelligent, but it seems as though a little bit less in terms of constitution. Interesting. Some of that stats here to peruse. Seems as though he has proficiencies in dagger, which is the same as our character, but also has proficiencies in quarterstaff. That's a bit regarding his biography. When asked about his past, Zan wistfully speaks of his home in the elven stronghold of Everleska, and his role as a grey cloak. Interesting. I wonder who the grey cloaks are. It was apparently decreed that he was to investigate the events of the iron shortage to determine who or what were the causes and ascertain whether there was a greater threat to the region as a whole. This was definitely not a small task, and he accepted the responsibility with a great deal of dread. You get the feeling, however, that he approaches everything with a great deal of dread. Interesting. He has devoted his life to improving his mastery of magic and has become a skilled wizard, though this dedication has left him little time to make friends or acquire any other pastimes. He strikes you as very capable, though probably not the best influence on morale. So I believe that Frederick and Zan could get along well. Seems as though both are very dedicated to their quest for knowledge regarding the magical arts, although they do differ in terms of their specialization. That could be a source of difference. Okay. A little bit regarding his class. As noted, he is a different school to Frederick as an enchanter. Frederick is of the School of Illusion. That's Frederick could learn a thing or two from Zan, though. Both manipulate the minds, just in different ways, perhaps. combat stats to peruse. Has a skill in law of 58, reputation average with the value of 9. There's a bit regarding his abilities. So let us return to the task of Zan casting a spell.
Good job. I am now going to teach you how to memorize spells.
Thank you, Zan. Any spellcaster, besides sorcerers and shamans, must memorize spells using the rest button on the left panel after choosing their spells on the Mage Book or Priest Scroll pages. Select the Mage Book or Priest icon that appears on the left edge of the screen. Choose the spells you want to memorize and then click on the rest button. Once your rest is completed, you will have memorized all of your spells. I want you to try to memorize some spells right now. I shall endeavor to do so then. In terms of the particular spells that Frederick is going to prioritize and thus memorize, first is Reflected Image. So this is naturally a specialism of illusion or phantasm. A little bit of information here. Level 1, range 0, lasts for 3 rounds, plus additional round per level. Casting time 1. The area of effect of the caster, and saving throw none. So upon casting the spell, the wizard creates one image of himself that will travel alongside him. The image will perform all of the actions that the wizard does, so that if any enemies are trying to attack the wizard, they will not know which one is real. There is a 50% chance that the attacker will attack the image and a 50% chance that he will attack the caster. The image will disappear with a successful dispel magic when attacked, or when the spell's duration expires. I could see Frederick utilizing this spell quite well. Looking to beguile, bamboozle his opponents. So we'll memorize this one first. And the other one to select will be Spook. So again, of the School of Illusion / Phantasm. Level 1, a range of 30 feet. Duration 3 rounds, similar to Reflected Image. Casting time 1. Area of effect 1 creature. Saving throw negative. A spook spell enables a wizard to play upon natural fears to cause the target creature to perceive the caster as someone or something inimical, which then appears to advance upon it in a threatening manner. If the creature does not make a successful saving throw versus the spell, it turns and flees at maximum speed as far from the wizard as possible. The creature suffers a saving throw penalty of -1 every 2 levels of the caster. Could be quite powerful. Up to a maximum of -6 at the 12th level. Although the caster does not actually pursue the fleeing creature, a phantasm from its own mind does. The undead are completely unaffected, so something to be aware of here. But again, I believe this could be a good spell that reflects the character of Frederick, wishing to control the minds of his opponents via illusory means. So let us memorize. Frederick shall now rest.
Good job. I'm now going to teach you how to learn spells. I have a flame arrow scroll in my inventory.
Very good. Thank you, Zan. Right-click on the scroll. It will bring you to the item history screen. On the bottom of the screen, you will find a button that says Write Magic. Right. Press this and your mage, me, will now be able to cast the flame arrow once I memorize it, that is. There is a chance of failure when trying to learn a new spell. Failure means that the scroll is used up and the mage does not learn the spell. I will not fail with this one, but in the real world, your intelligence stat will determine whether you succeed or not. Should think that both Zan and Frederick would have a relatively high chance of learning every spell and a lower chance of failure. Here we have the scroll of flame arrow. Interesting. So flame arrow, yes, of the school of conjuration / summoning. Level 3, range of 60 foot, duration 1 round, a casting time of 3, area of effect 1 creature, and a saving throw of half. This spell enables the caster to hurl fiery bolts at opponents within range. Each bolt inflicts 1d6 points of piercing damage plus 4d6 points of fire damage. Only half of the fire damage is inflicted if the creature struck saves versus spell. Quite powerful. potentially. The caster receives 1 bolt every 5 levels. Beyond the 5th, 2 bolts at 10th level, 3 at 15th level, etc. All of the bolts will streak toward the target of the spell. Not usable by cleric, druid, fighter, monk, paladin, ranger, shaman, thief, diviner, and barbarian. So, Frederick may be able to learn this particular spell at some point. Let us write the magic spell. You copy the spell to your spellbook. Done.
Good job. Now I'm going to teach you how to identify items. When you find a magical item, you won't automatically know what it does.
To find out, you must right-click on the item. On the bottom of the item's history screen, you will find a button labelled, quote, identify. Left-click on this if whom has the item in the inventory has an identify spell memorized or has an identify scroll, then the item will be identified. Interesting. Bards and very intelligent characters can sometimes automatically identify an item when they pick it up. Potentially characters such as Zan and Frederick may have this ability. I have an unidentified shield in my inventory. I also have an identify spell memorized. I will give you a moment to try to identify the shield. Very good. Thank you, Zen. So, medium shield. Very good. So, a little about this item. So, medium shield. A medium shield is carried in the same manner as a small shield. Unlike the small shield, however, its weight prevents the character from using his shield hand for anything other than carrying the medium shield. So it certainly has its drawbacks. Full stop. Medium shields are usually made of metal, range from 3 to 4 feet in diameter, and can be of any shape, from round to square to a dragon's spread wings. That would be rather ostentatious. A typical medieval shield resembles a triangle with one point facing downward. So, statistics, equipped abilities, armor class +1, requires 12 strength. Interesting. Weight 8, and not usable by bard, druid, mage, monk, shaman, thief, and kenzai. So, certainly not usable by either Frederick or Zan, it seems. Not sure they would have the strength anyway. So we shall identify this particular item. Do you wish to identify the item with an identify spell or an identify scroll? We shall go for scroll. Seems to be the only option available.
Now that you know everything about using mage spells, I'm going to introduce you to a cleric. Her name is Bronwyn, and she'll be teaching you how to use cleric abilities.
Thank you. Interesting to meet this certain Bronwyn.
Greetings, and goodwill. I am Branwyn, and I follow the ways of Tempest, god of war. I'm going to join your party and teach you how to use cleric abilities.
Ah, good day, Bronwyn. Pleasure to meet you. Pray, continue.
You cast cleric spells in the exact same way that you cast mage spells. I'll refresh your memory in case you've forgotten.
Thank you. All these books regarding illusionism have somewhat preyed upon my memory. Select my cast spell button. Choose a spell and left click on your target. My cast spell button is the spell icon on the bottom of the screen. You need to have me selected for you to have access to my spells. Also, continue. I want you to cast a spell on Belt now. Poor Belt, he's getting a lot of spells cast upon him. I hope he I hope he is not going to be injured. He is slightly wounded from the other spell you cast on him. Exactly. So you should use one of my healing spells. Indeed. Go ahead. Cast a healing spell on Belt. Or anyone else for that matter. You can rest to restore a healing spell if necessary. Ah, good to know. Just some information regarding Branwyn, which could be interesting to just peruse briefly. You can see she is part of the well, she is a priestess of Tempest. Interestingly, she is a true neutral. So, differs from Frederick. I believe Zan as well. Her statistics, like Frederick, highly dexterous, but significantly wiser, it seems. And also is quite charismatic. Interesting. So, a little bit here. And a little on her biography. Be some interesting lore tidbits in here. When asked about her past, Branwyn reveals that she left her home of Seawolf in the Norheim, or Norheim I should say, Isles at an early age. She was apparently reviled by her own people for wanting to become a priest, a station reserved exclusively for the men of the village. She harbors no resentment, realizing that her faith must face, I should say, such tests or be worthless. She travelled the coast, offering her services to local militias, and eventually came into the employ of an adventuring troop in the Nashgar area. Branwen had no idea that the group was participating in banditry, however, and on their first raid she balked at attacking a caravan of unarmed merchants. She rebelled, and a mage named Tranzig turned her to stone in the ensuing fight. I wonder how she got out of that particular bind. Despite the unfavourable outcome, Branwen feels that Tempest views her actions approvingly. To attack those that are unarmed is the basis of villainy. So, a reasonably strong moral compass. Unlike Frederick, who is lawful evil. But his actions are kept in check by a fear of reprisal from the law. I believe at this particular stage I may conclude this tutorial section. The reason being, or two reasons, is that I do believe I have a reasonable enough understanding now of the foundations of how to play. However, also I do believe the mod I am using may be interacting or interrupting some of the tutorial scripting, which is causing a few technical difficulties. So what I will do is conclude here, and we shall begin the main campaign in the next installment. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.